Yo, it's ODB from OLP. This is issue 132 of Mini Truckin Magazine, December 2002. We're going to round out the year with an awesome issue. Dustin Haven's 1990 Toyota pickup, known as Suicidal Toy. This truck obviously features Dustin's wild paint, which we also saw on his S-10 that graced the cover of issue 104, August 2000. This was Immaculate Collection Club. I don't know if he technically was in there at that time. So this might be one of one, or if he was in Immaculate Collection, Dustin or someone else could chime in. This would be one of two for them, which is awesome, right? To be able to have your club, to rep your club on the cover. Now, I had the pleasure of seeing this truck a few times, including at Indy Truck Bash back in the day. I believe Ronnie Cupp still owns it. Saw it at East Tennessee Showdown as well when he had it, and some other shows like the Spark Show. Lance Martz's 16th credited cover, and you can see here that you basically have the year in review. So possibly the first time I think they started doing this, where they did their best of the best, which I think is fantastic. We do that as well. I love kind of summing up the year. Very cool cover. You can see with the art direction that they've had. The layout is just amazing with this truck. But what we see here is Mini Truckin Nats, the Underground, so a Vegas show, and just something totally different. Again, you see the graphics kind of baked in here. You can see the grill a little bit there, and just a wild cover. So pretty cool stuff. I've met Dustin before, great guy, and I do need to make it happen and get him on the podcast. Speaking of that, you can see there how wild the truck is. Love how the zebra graphics here go into the hood, some down there on the lower rocker, and then of course in for the interior. Just totally wild. You got a new Ultra Images ad, Pebble Pushers Ford Ranger, and awesome Mazda and a Tacoma. Really good, well-rounded issue here. Learning is fundamental, so Lance talks about now that they're past the whole, pretty far past the Y2K stuff, the doom and gloom, just, kind of bullet points some things that he's kind of learned and wants to share with everyone. Here you got MT News, so your normal stuff, calling out some different websites, including MIC, and then MIC with an ad, as we saw the last issue with the clothing as well. Here again, they're driving their website, which was a big thing in the early 2000s. Pushing Pebbles, so flat on the tarmac. This is Chad Johnson's truck from Mooresville, NC, North Carolina, 86 Ford Ranger, and this thing is super sick. A couple of the things that stand out is obviously pebble pushers are low, and you've got the radius sides there on the hood, all blended together, welded together. Pretty insane. Awesome color. You'll see this in the show coverage in this issue as well. And again, shout out to Pebble Pushers, good people. Always see them at shows. Always enjoyed slapping hands with those guys. I think it's super sick. Kind of has the vibe, I hate to say it, of the Tony Audia in terms of just the bed. Similar color, not the same. Of course, this is an extended cab. But salute for that build. Super awesome. Check out OLP via any podcast app. Here is Nopi Southeastern Mini Truckin Nats. So I said Mini Nats on the cover, but this was as Nopi kind of, I guess, morphed from just Nopi to this. This was the 6th annual Southeastern Mini Truckin National, so it's a little bit confusing. I don't think this is the Mini Nats as we know it. This is the Nopi version, but again, you guys can kind of chime in. That gets a little confusing to me. The Dakota, the S-10, of course, the famous Mazda there. You got Custom Works Blazer, and just so much awesomeness right here. Check out the Mazda long bed. Saw that as well at Indy Truck Bash when I think it was parked right by Dustin's, if I remember correctly, from the photos I took. The standout here at this show is, I think, after, of course, Sean Carlson, rest in peace, sold the 4Runner. The guy that had it, took it to a good amount of shows. Here we see Josh Long from Wicked Customs had the Ranger. Awesome Mazda. The Taco. And you can see here, I mentioned, though, you'll see it in show coverage, you got the Ranger and the Toyota, both pebble pushers, similar colors, super low, super awesome. Both extended cabs for the most part. I do know that each OEM calls their extended cab something different. I think we all kind of sum them up as that. The one thing I told Mike you can never do is don't call a Mazda cab plus an extended cab, which he continues to do. You can see here Mini Truckin Tech, fantastic firewall and firewall mods going down. Of course, in the era of running bigger and bigger wheels, who can go the biggest and stay the lowest? That was a big thing. The Flaming Taco, Lance Martz, he shot a lot of the stuff in this, including the cover, as I mentioned. Lance putting in the work. Awesome Tacoma. I remember seeing this thing somewhere, I believe. I can't remember where, but kind of in that era of the graphic that was, kind of a tribal, almost a, dare I say, T2 type feel to the colors and whatnot. Again, more color. Speaking of colors, you can see, again, more color with these JBM add window maker. So they do a sunroof, which was a mod that many of us have seen over the years, and it's awesome. So Suicidal Toy, Violent Mood Swings, interview by Lance Martz, photography by Lance Martz. And really, if you look at the layout, probably one of the dopest layouts to this point. And I say that with all respect because, it really is awesome. A little bit of the intro there. But how they incorporated the graphics in, a lot of this stuff is a lot easier now because of the tools that we have. The stuff you can even do on your phone is stuff that people didn't have, as I've said, 20 years ago, or not even that long ago. But again, Dustin Haven, 90 Toyota Standard Cab, Scottsburg, Indiana, Immaculate Collection was the club. His website, Color Creations, which kind of tied into the cover there, right there. So that was a cool little nod that they did. But again, the layout, I think, is what really sticks out to me here. With the graphics, you really can't see anything from the background here, except for when you look at these insert photos, you see the trees and the pavement. But super slick. Loved what they were kind of doing at this point. And then boom. It's probably a little different now because back in these days, like this interview is very in depth. And you see like one photo there, 2, 3, and 4. The world we live in now, like when you look on websites a lot or you click links or you're reading like a news story, it's like 3 bullet points at the top. And then if you look at the paragraphs are a lot shorter because the attention span of people really isn't what it was because there's just so much information being thrown at us. So when you look at something like this and you were waiting for the magazine to come, once a month, you basically were excited to get something like this where it was a ton of content. Whether you were a guy that read the feature or not, at least the interview itself being, red, blue, or blue, yellow, kind of indicating, Mini Truckin asking the question, Dustin answering it, and then boom, the lowdown. Certainly a lot going on with this truck, and for a four-page feature, plus the cover and the TOC image, pretty awesome. So salute to Dustin Haven. I know he's got a cool... he's always sharing stuff on Facebook in one of the groups, and appreciate him. And like I said, I got to get you on, Dustin. So a year in review, 2002. I'm not going to go into detail of all of this, but this kind of sums up the cool thing about the year. And if you think about it, this had to have been done, starting a couple of months prior because of, the print schedule, if you will. And you can see there are 3 main awards, billet awards, which are pretty awesome. And obviously not an easy task. You've got the truck that we talked about there. You got Bruce Riveria, rest in peace. You got Finnegan's there. And another picture of Bruce's truck. And again, the hard thing about this would be the trucks towards the very end of the year. You know, it's hard to put all the images there, especially if you're working on this, you know, back in September to get it ready for the December issue. But regardless, to get out of, you know, the minutia there, you see here, sponsored by Trends. So DeBerti, thanks again to Josh Ellis for linking us up with Doug and his son Brad, to have them on the podcast in the past. Of course, he owned Trends, still does technically. I think he said he wants to bring it back, but he's got a lot going on. You see there are three key things. 2002 Truck of the Year was born in Japan, built in the UK. That was Mark Jenkins's Mazda, which we just saw, which is this truck. The Show of the Year was THW, Texas Heatwave. And they are in the Hall of Fame. Dave. And Mini Truckin Club of the Year, the club I've been in since the late 90s, was Severed Ties. So there you go. And if I remember correctly, a couple people mentioned, including Joe Greaves right here, his favorite truck, Bruce Rivera's slammed Isuzu. Of course, he shot it. But this was cool. I think they did a great job. So tip of the cap to Lance and team, the Mini Truckin staff, if you will, that put this together. I mean, just solid blocks of information, good photos, awesome awards. You've got the Mazda little circle photo there. You know, getting with all of their contributors, you know, that's a task in itself. So, you know, a lot of good information there. Pretty cool stuff. We're continuing on. Again, check out OLP via any podcast app. Over 330 episodes out there. Many are on YouTube as well. You can listen right there. Keep in mind, these are also in playlists, so you can go back to any year of Mini Truckin. The earlier years were kind of 2 years together, but you can kind of stream these as you need to. JR's 96 Blazer, 2 Flyby, Costly Obsession, really cool thing. Fun fact, I had this same air dam on my S-10. I may have mentioned that in the past. I forget who sold it, but kind of like a polyurethane, whatever deal. These Phantom grills are kind of hard to find now. That thing looks good. And just love the four-door Blazers. Of course, they had the huge frames, but they did look good laid out like this. You can see there. And then the interior looking fresh. Pretty cool stuff. Leave a comment if you like what we're doing. Even if it's just an emoji, thumbs up. It helps us. The page continues to grow, our channel rather. So we appreciate it. Here's Matt's 91 Mazda B2200 and Bobby's 95 Nissan Hardbody. Construction Zone, again, continuing to be one of the popular segments or pieces of this publication. Life in the Phat lane, you got to have roots. So Finnegan talks about having roots in what you do or what you like. Definitely appreciate the support. Got a lot lined up for the rest of the year. I can't believe almost half of the year is gone. Time of recording, June 13th, 2023. You can see the famous Toyota and another Tacoma there. Here's Primal Scream, Andrew Post, Meridian, Mississippi. I remember seeing this truck as well at Showfest, and certainly deserves a closer look. Super, super slick tweed interior. I would take this any day of the week. And those awesome wheels, billet flame, graphic, super clean, hot rod-ish feel. Inside of the bed was kind of a little bit different than what you would see in a lot of different trucks, And then boom, look at that interior. Holy clean. Here you go, Underground Experience. We saw on the cover, they hinted this would have been Sin City, also known as Las Vegas. Sal Napoli's Mazda. Cab Plus, not extended cab, Mike. Cab Plus topless. I got a chance to see this truck when Sal was voted in the Mini Truck Hall of Fame, which was just a couple years ago. Long-time Mini Trucker. You'd be hard-pressed to find any more hardcore mini trucker than Sal, the OG, who we've had on. Old School Sal was the episode back on, I think, episode 101. Crazy. Time flies. You can see right here, the Mazda we just saw would have been cool if that was your truck to have it showcased there. You can check out ourlifestylepodcast.com to buy gear, including these stickers paying homage to the Mini Truckin logo that started on issue 2. Pat Maxwell's Blazer. You got the 4Runner, the S-10, the Hardbody, Pebble Pushers. Look at that. Well, what? Explorer. And then at MIC, still holding it down. After all those years of advertising, still doing it. So, wow. Issue 132, December 2002. Again, just 20 years ago this past December. We're a half year out from 20 years ago. A lot of stuff has changed, but a lot of stuff is coming back. If you like what we're doing, again, leave a comment, subscribe, thumbs up, share it with the homies, and stay on the rise, y'all. Click through to the next video and keep it locked to OLP. The next issue I technically already did because it's Charles Armstrong's Time Machine issue 133. It just dawned on me. And I say that because when we launched the merch a year and a couple months ago, I went ahead and jumped forward to issue 133, January 2003, with Charles Armstrong's Time Machine. So I don't know if I'm going to do that one again. We might just jump to issue 134, which was Ernie Mercias, rest in peace, his tilt bed Mitsubishi, Wes Allison's cover that he shot. But let's not get ahead of myself, ODB. And, sorry, one thing I forgot to mention. Jennifer Fletcher was the model. Jennifer Fletcher. Looking fantastic. We out ya. Peace.